Today we are going to be recapping and reacting to a bunch of things that have been going on in the movie, TV show, anime world, starting off with this post over here. I think that we've all... Oh, hang on. Sorry. I thought this was going to be something else. I thought this was going to be Kathleen Kennedy leaving Star Wars, okay? But then again, why would Walter White be on there, okay? Screen Time posted this saying this. Kathleen Kennedy says she had a conversation with Vince Gilligan about doing a Star Wars series. Dude, I had no idea that conversation ever took place. That is exactly what Star Wars needs, is somebody like Vince Gilligan. I haven't had the pleasure of watching Pluribus yet, but I've heard it is phenomenal. I'm a major Breaking Bad fan. Better Call Saul was some of the best TV that you'll ever be able to see. Dude, the things that Vince Gilligan would be able to do with Star Wars would be phenomenal. Off to a great start over here. Let's see what some people had to say about it. An entire series set in space New Mexico. All right. Yeah, and they would like have that little yellow tinge to it, eh? Gilligan's character-driven approach could bring a very different tone to Star Wars. Yeah, honestly, it would be nice to see. I would be very, very down to see what Vince Gilligan could do with Star Wars. Let's continue on to, it's just a regular post over here with 1.9 million views, okay? Not gonna lie, if superheroes did exist, I think The Boys is a more accurate representation of what they'll be compared to other superhero franchises. Dude, 100%. Maybe like, I don't know what like the most powerful people ever get up to when it comes to like kinks and stuff, but I think that my initial gut would be, okay, they would tone down like to the extent of like the grossness that we see in The Boys, but with everybody just taking advantage of their superpowers, being villains, there's a lot of them just flat out being degenerates. I kind of agree with that. I wholeheartedly believe that. People wouldn't go around saving the world. Humans are inherently selfish. It's almost like that's the point of the show, but I am with the reply over here and saying that most people don't realize that though. But when we also say that, it's also important to realize that people look way too in-depth to what The Boys is saying as well. Like, there's a little bit of a line that you need to take a look at, man. Bro said, not gonna lie, like it's a controversial take. Like, yeah, bro, that's the whole point of the show. But, I mean, some people don't really pay attention to that piece, but that's okay. Completely agree, someone else said. We already have so much corruption of the out of humans alone, and money only helps that. Imagine if superpowers were involved. Yeah, 100%. You know, what'd be interesting too is I would like to see how the superheroes, or if the superheroes would be able to be controlled, or if you just have. I understand that, like in the point of the show, at this point of the show, Homelander is relatively controlled, but you know how they just could at any point just lose it and blow things up. I wonder at like what point it would take that, or if the government would be able to suppress them at all. I think that would make for an interesting video if we ever want to dive into that sometime, man. Let's, it's not the next post yet, but all right, we're going to leave it at that one, man. Actual superpowers would just amplify existing human corruption and ego. The only unrealistic part is they'd have to pretend to be heroes instead of just openly running everything. Yeah, that's a little bit of a good point there, but it wouldn't be hard, man. Look at everybody in charge today. Look how easy it is to convince the public that you're a good guy just for you to get in an office and for nothing to change. You know, every single time they fool the entire public. It wouldn't be difficult for them at all, man. Here we go again with the whole more edgy equals realistic. Dispatch is one of the only media where I found the whole superheroes in real life being actually enjoyable. There are good superpowered individuals and some bad ones. Not everyone needs to be a POS to be realistic. But here's the thing too. I think the bad guys would win more often than not, because the good guys wouldn't have plot armor and they would have like the entire world actively working against them. Like Superman wouldn't always be able to come on top. You know, those types of things. That's why I do think that The Boys are more of a realistic approach, because Butcher would have been, not saying Butcher's a good guy, but like anybody trying to take down like somebody like Homelander who's a bad guy in charge, they'd be taken care of very, very quickly in the real world. Somebody would come out, I'm standing for justice, and then they would get laser beamed in the head. That's what the way I'm kind of taking a look at this entire thing over here. Let's keep going on. Speaking of superheroes over here, discussing film posted. New look at Millie Alcock as Supergirl in theaters June 26th. I don't know if a new trailer came out or anything, but I'm actually really, really looking forward to that movie, man. I have never been a big DC guy, but with the new Superman movie that came out, I'm completely on the drain. Plus, I have liked everything that James Gunn has done, man. I am very, very excited, man. There is a meme over here. I don't care from the last dude on the bench. I'll clap. Is this going to be every single reply to this one whatsoever? Looks like she can actually beat me up. Maybe? I don't know. Someone else said, Crypto's not out barking me in that theater. Dude, if we have another Chainsaw Man type thing where you're seeing videos of like when Makima ended up coming out and the entire theater is just like that type of stuff. That'd be crazy, man. You know what? I don't think it's completely out of the question, but they're not like quite as cringe as the anime people, so we'll have to see, man. Let's circle back over to Breaking Bad over here. What are your thoughts on Lydia? Dude, I thought Lydia was a great addition to the Breaking Bad cast. She was crazy. She had attention. She had a good pull. Like, her role was, it was needed, you know? Not necessarily needed, but it all fit in very, very nicely, you know? I like her ties to Gus. I like that she panicked and was trying to take care of things. She wanted Mike's guys gone. She wanted to save herself, but at the same time, she was trying to take care of Mike. I thought she was a really fun character, dude. She did nothing but add to the show, man. Let's see what some people had to say. Okay, hang on. This is in quotations. There's no way this is part of the show. Someone said I better box is like a pencil sharpener. I feel like if that was a quote from Breaking Bad, I would have seen it. That would have been memed to death. But I don't know. What the hell, man? Oh boy. Someone else said she's kind of hot. Yeah, that's probably the takeaway most people had, to be honest with you. She is Marie if Marie ever broke bad. Huh. Yeah, maybe. I could see. You know what? I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying with that one. Let's continue on over here. Her and Todd would have given birth to the sickest psychopath in history. Oh, man, yeah. Lidod. What a horrible name. Dude, anything that Todd reproduces with. Todd could reproduce with the most pure woman of all time. The most innocent girl in the entire world. And because of how much of a psychopath Todd is, that kid would be coming out messed up 100%, dude. I think I'm the only one who thinks Walter killing her was one of the worst things that he did, since he knew he had a daughter to take care of. She was a horrible person. I mean, I understand that. Like, it sucks that somebody had to be ripped away from their kid. But look, Lydia was going to kill Mike. What about those 9 guys, too, that she wanted gone, too? I'm sure they all had families. I completely agreed with Mike right from the get-go when he said that when he was telling Jesse he was being misogynistic or something. He was like, this woman has done just as bad as any man that I've ever known. Look at you being all sexist. Yeah, Lydia needed to go, dude. No. I just feel bad for her kid. Let's circle over to Stranger Things, though. Some of the early concept designs for Vecna in Stranger Things. Okay. Huh, these are strange. Look at this. You know, I almost want to say that it looks better. This one's creepy. This one almost looks like a little too alienish. Like, if you were to have conversations with this thing to the level that they were having conversations with Vecna, that might be a little bit too much. What the hell is this one? Look at that. This one looks like more of the design that they ended up going with, right? Very interesting, man. I don't like the one with clothes. I like him being like just an alien figure. I kind of like the idea of him like pulling his skin off. Very, very interesting. So yeah, actually, this is probably like the version that they ended up going with more, man. Huh. I didn't know that they had different designs planned out, but I guess it's part of the process, eh? It gives the horror level. Perhaps with the designs, Vecna would have always been a creature from another world and not a human. Oh yeah. But I don't know if, like, to the writing process they had, did they have Vecna in the game plan when they first started writing Stranger Things? I don't know. But very interesting nonetheless, man. Very, very interesting. They look good. I just feel the OG Vecna fits this series more. These ones look more true and scary to horror movies. That's where I'm kind of agreeing with it. I like the design that they ended up going on Vecna. It's like literally Henry, and then again, I don't even really know why Henry ended up looking like that. Something to do with the Mind Flyer, I guess, but it's just what they ended up going with, and I like what they ended up going with, man. Let's keep going over here. I don't know if you guys have seen this floating around. I've seen it floating around over here. So I don't know why all of a sudden people are just posting all of these photos that came out. I don't know if Jurassic World ended up posting anything about like behind the scenes and stuff like that. But all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, Peter chose MJ over this. Oh my god, this is Bryce Dallas on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And then people were like, dude, I've never noticed how good she looks. And you know, it's funny because you watch the movie and you don't really, it's strange how you don't like see these screenshots at the same time. You know what I mean? I was paying attention to the dinosaurs. Let's go. So flat out, this is the type of comments I expected to see on something like this, with someone literally saying, don't suppress that thing. Another person saying, didn't know she was this curvy, though. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been talking about that. And I don't know like where that came from. I don't know if something Jurassic Park has been trending at all, but That's been making the rounds recently. Even I've seen it, man. Let's keep going to Stranger Things over here. The difference between Finn holding Millie and Caleb holding Sadie. Yeah, there was a lot of talk that I've been hearing about some, like, intimacy director or something like that. I don't know to what level of truth that is, but maybe they had something to do with over there. Maybe it was Millie Bobby Brown having a relationship, or I think she's married, actually. Being married, being in a relationship, whatever it was, and said, don't put your hands on my hips. I don't know. But wait, did they kiss at the end? I don't even remember. I don't know. It kind of comes with the territory if you're an actress, right? But, you know, Caleb was not acting at all right there. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what's crazy is, I don't know if this is a look of that, like, Max was supposed to give, or if Sadie is like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. I'd be very, very interested to hear the answer to that question, man. Wait, hey, there we go. There we go. What did I just say? One of them knows what he's doing. Oh, yeah, this is, of course, would come up, boundaries and respect. Dude, I mean, you're supposed to grab each other when you're filming. Obviously, you can opt out of that, so obviously she was okay with that. Maybe she was just surprised about, like, maybe it being a little bit more intimate, a little bit more aggressive, but I guess that's what you signed up for. That's what you're supposed to do, man. One's begging, don't leave me energy. The other's sup babe energy. Iconic difference. I guess that's true. Because, oh, okay, because she's married and the actor wants to respect that. Yeah, but I'm kind of like, I understand the reply here. You know, I don't know if it's something that Millie Bobby Brown would say, like, hey, don't touch my hips. But I don't pay attention to anything else that she does. I watch Damsel, but I don't think I've ever seen anything else that she's been in. And even in Damsel, she didn't have a love story there. Wait, maybe at the beginning of the movie she did. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen her kiss anybody on screen. I don't think I have. I don't know. It's such a useless topic. Let's keep going to Stranger Things over here. I have seen this. Fans accuse the Duffer Brothers of using AI to write Stranger Things final season after spotting ChatGPT tabs behind the scenes documentary. You know, ChatGPT can be used for so many things. I wouldn't immediately go to, oh my god, they're obviously using it to help write. But the AI is getting very, 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 very good at helping people write things. If you're running out of ideas, why not spit out something like, hey, here's our story, what's going on? I think it'd be cool if it led to this. What do you think? I think that there's a lot of people out there that are being very dishonest in saying that they're not using AI. Pretty soon, all the stuff that you see is going to be written by AI, man. Feels like if you aren't using AI to help these days, you are falling behind. 100%. 100%. Dude, I don't know if I agree with this either. And I know I might get cooked for that, dude. I know. But it can be pretty helpful. But I understand the logic behind saying something like that. That's the thing. Let's keep going on over here to the next post over here. Assuming they didn't use it for writing, it's simply faster and better research assistant for questions like, what guns did the US military use in the 1980s than Googling? 100%. Oh my god. There's always those people, man. There's nothing wrong with that efficiency as long as you're not an idiot, right? You just need to fact check some things sometimes. And before you say it, yes, it used to lie, but they've been getting better depending on what model you're using over here. Someone posted, ChatGPT thought they didn't need Demogorgons in the finale. That's so funny, actually. Could you imagine that was like some of the thought process right there? Oh boy, let's keep going on to the next post. I'm circling over to Avatar. So Avatar's about a guy who betrays his entire planet so he can clap some alien cheeks. I know it's deeper than that. I understand the point of the entire show, but let's be realistic here. If a lot of people were in Jake's position, they would probably do the exact same thing. It's about a guy who saw injustice and switched sides to help preserve the land and culture of oppressed natives. That is what Jake would say, of course, yes, and it wasn't for, and excuse me for saying her name wrong, I think it's Natiri over there. I mean, it's Zoe. I do the same. I believe Zoe is the actor for the Avatar. Could be wrong about that one, but you get my point over here. Bro tasted it once and switched sides, and someone else said that blue grip is crazy. Oh my god. I'm almost uncomfortable saying that on YouTube, man. We've been through this on the channel as well. Sydney Sweeney is Cassie in Euphoria Season 3. She will be an OnlyFans model this season. This took over the world for like a day. The big takeaway was her having a tail looking like a piece of crap. It was funny, man. The showrunners. Sydney Sweeney acting as an OnlyFans model, yeah. That wasn't difficult to come up with in the room, was it? I want to know what the conversations come up like. Hey, we want you to be an OnlyFans model this time around. And then, of course, she ended up saying yes to that. Someone based Adam said, degenerate filth. We love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it. Can she do anything without taking off her clothes? You know, from what I've seen her in, which hasn't been much, I always think about Anyone But You. She's not a bad actress, but she's taking advantage of what she's got, and what she's got definitely sells, right? Not appropriate for a show directed at children and teen adults. I actually agree with that. And I know that, like, I know you viewer might be completely different, but I know there's a lot of people out there that Euphoria's kind of for the teen demographic, right? Let's keep going over to Sony, and I have seen this. Meet Ryan Hurst, your Kratos in the God of War series coming to Prime Video. Dude, this is phenomenal casting. Phenomenal. That man looks like a Kratos. Dude, I can only hope his acting... I'm sorry, I don't know who Ryan Hurst is personally, but I hope that his acting skills can come up to Kratos. Like, because, dude, he looks the part, and it looks great, man. Exactly. That is some of the best casting that you could possibly do. Someone said that's setting unrealistic expectations for women. Looking at Kratos saying nice. Yeah, it's funny that there's a big difference in here when we have something like Kratos and we see the actor and go, dude, that guy looks like Kratos. That dude's a Chad. But it's not the same on the other side of the coin for the vast majority of times, right? Someone said, why not Zendaya? Yeah, I'm sorry, she was busy. Like Kyle Ohio said later. Agreed. If you guys want to keep watching some more Explore Recap pages like this, I want you to check out the last one that we did on screen right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.